I will improve the vibes here by pointing out to Lucy that Caitlin Clark is about to have the best day ever, which means that Lucy's about to have the best day ever because there's no one who makes her happier in the world than Caitlin Clark.
I hate that you only left me about a minute to talk about this, but that's okay. I'll bleed it into the next segment. I have zero problem doing that. Tonight, Caitlin will most likely break the all-time scoring record in women's college basketball. She is 8 points away from being the all-time leading scorer. She's only like 200 or so points away from being the all-time scorer, men's or women's. We're playing kind of a team that's Michigan, not doing their best right now. It should happen in the first quarter. It will be such a remarkable moment for women's basketball, for me personally, which is the most important part. Courtside seats are going for like $10,000 a pop. This is like one of the toughest tickets to get an event get into. It is going to be such a good day for me. It's going to be a great day for Caitlin. It's going to be a great day for everyone. I'm so excited. 8 p.m. tonight. They play Michigan.
You still have 45 seconds.
I know. Well, I went through it really fast in my head because I looked at the clock and I was like, oh, my God. Well, I can't talk about everything that Caitlin means to me. Like, she's changed my life. She's changed all of our lives. She's changed women's basketball. She's changed college sports in general. Like, it's kind of tough because you sit here and you get to watch this run. And let me just tell you, I think the scoring, it's kind of getting to her head a little bit. The record, because she hasn't played her best the last few games. Kelsey Plum came out and was like, girl, when I had to do this, it was really tough. People didn't really think about, what I was going through. So I'm happy that Caitlin's just going to get it over with tonight. She gets to do it in front of a home crowd, and she's going to be the all-time leading scorer. That's amazing. Everyone should be cheering right now. Everybody clap.
Like Lucy said, Caitlin didn't have her best quarter on Sunday, and Kelsey Plum, who holds the record, actually tweeted at her before that and said, congratulations on the record and really your entire season. I appreciate what you do for the game. Much respect and love. See you at the next level, hopefully sooner than later. Caitlin proceeded to not score the 8 points she needed to beat the record, and then Kelsey Plum quote tweeted and said, my bad, next game.
And you got that Mulkey saying that nobody on her team shoots 40 times a game.
Actually, you know what? This is a good segue because there's something I've wanted to talk about here. Cheryl Swoops, women's basketball legend, has been starting a lot of beef with Iowa fans, Caitlin Clark fans, coming out. This has made me so upset, but it was like a few weeks ago, just come out and being like, Caitlin's doing this in your 5th year. She's had all this extra time. She's got 40 shots a game. Just some of the same narrative we've heard from Kim Mulkey and other coaches around the country, which I don't understand why you hate Caitlin. She's amazing for the game. She's growing the game. She's amazing to watch. Caitlin's in her 4th year. She lost time because of COVID. She's doing this, if she had that full season to start off her career, she would have done this faster and more impressively. It's one of these things that's been weird to watch, and I know I'm so biased because I love her so much, but I'm like, how could anybody hate her? And it makes me so angry that people aren't rooting for her. She's amazing.
You say it's weird to watch, and to me, it's something I've gotten tired of over 30 years, where athletic greatness, the way that we cover it now, is so poisoned, contaminated. You got to have takes that basically anyone who's doing anything great is going to be inundated with haters. Look at what's happening all around Shannon Sharp and McAfee and who it is that gets mad about what's happening around Shannon Sharp and McAfee, how much criticism arrives in all sorts of forms in our industry because someone is climbing in a way that makes others uncomfortable and is obvious. I will tell you this, Stugotz, because I mentioned it yesterday. Nick Wright is going to get and should get an enormous amount of money from Fox. One of the great joys for me of watching his ascent from Kansas City radio, Stugotz, he's at the parade hugging everyone before it becomes tragic. From Kansas City radio, no one gets to make this rise. And the zig that he has done while everyone else is zagging is simply to believe in LeBron James and Patrick Mahomes during this time. Because everyone else is figuring out the ways to try to tear them down and tell you, hey, he's not Jordan. He's not Tom Brady. And therefore, he's not as great as you think he is. Caitlin Clark is not who? Who are we putting her up against? Because you can say compiler 5 years if you insist on hating.
She hasn't played 5 years, though. That's literally a lie.
No, but she got the extra year. So there is something going on in college sports where 23 and 24-year-olds are playing against 18-year-olds.
Yeah, she's in her 4th year. Right. She has the opportunity to stay for a 5th year after the season. God, would I love for her to do that. Sure. But I don't believe she's going to. Just listening to her press conferences, how she sounds after games, she's been very open about, I'm treating this season as it's my last. So she's not taking that extra time. It's just wild. I have had the most fun in my entire life the past few years being an Iowa women's basketball fan, just like taking in all these moments and enjoying it. And it's something I wish more people would do. Like, we get to watch greatness all the time. We get to watch Patrick Mahomes. We get to watch Caitlin Clark. Like, why don't we just sit, have a good time, just enjoy the things that are ahead of us, because we may never see it again. Boom.
But then, Lucy, you see Iowa fans like making T-shirts that say "Don't be a Cheryl," disrespecting one of the legends of women's basketball, and you see how, like, maybe she was wrong, Cheryl Swoops was wrong in the number of games that Caitlin's played, but it does become a situation where now you're minimizing the achievements of a woman who was a pioneer in women's basketball, and I think you can't take Caitlin Clark out of a wider conversation about how women's basketball in general is covered, especially from the angle of race and the angle of sexuality and all of the things that we've talked about on the show like 100 times. But I think that is also part of the story here.
Can we discuss this part, though, Stugotz? When you have a pioneer, okay, worth celebrating, where it's not just that she's great, it's that everywhere she pops up now is an event. The idea that we're talking about $10,000 courtside seats for something in women's basketball is a seminal, symbolic achievement.
It's great.
And you can tear it down. And furthermore, in the content industry, Stugotz, you're rewarded for finding all of the ways that that's less great than you think it is, because talking again and again about how great it is isn't good for the content machine. Just celebrating and being like, wow, Caitlin Clark, amazing. Or, hey, Mahomes, you're amazing. Or LeBron, you're amazing. The vibes that Lucy wants around sports are what the vibes should be, but cannot be in the way that we cover sports or in the way that America is right now. We will pollute the escape hatch with all of our criticisms, and we will soak it in our own unhappinesses.
Allow me to help the conversation, because I cover all sports the same, like championships and rings. Caitlin Clark has to win a championship. She cannot go down as
Big Ten championships.
She has to win a national championship.
Let my boy cook.
Lucy, you cannot go down as the greatest college basketball player of all time without winning a national championship. You can't do it. You cannot do it. And Caitlin Clark, who is generally considered the greatest player to ever play women's basketball, she's not. You cannot do that without winning at least one title. This is her last opportunity. She's going to go to the WNBA. She should go to the WNBA. But if she doesn't win a title, I'm not certain she'll be in my top 5 college basketball players of all time. How about that?
What? Okay, so here's
helping the conversation. Right. I mean, this is the way it should be covered. Yeah. Not Lottie-Dottie, let's all celebrate Caitlin Clark.
This is real equality.
I mean, come on.
Caitlin Clark needs to win a championship.
I love you, but go win something.
I love you less. So here's my take on this. So I'm obviously super biased. I'm not going to say that Caitlin Clark is the best basketball player of all time. She's the best basketball player I have been able to watch in the college game. That's something that, like, it always makes me think about college football, college basketball in a sense where there's such a larger field and it's so much more competitive. Iowa doesn't have any other major recruits. We are not UConn. It's not South Carolina. What she's done is arguably more impressive to me, because if Caitlin Clark was not on that team, Iowa would be, in the tournament, probably losing the first round, second round. So I think I get the title argument, but it just makes me want to throw up a little bit.
Lucy, you will, in future generations, be able to explain to the disrespectful kids what Caitlin Clark actually meant to basketball and to sports. I would like to explain to you.
She'd mean more if she won a title. Anyway,
this year, Stu, this year. See you in Cleveland.
Back to you, Dan.
Do you think they have a shot at winning the championship this year, Lucy?
I actually really do.
I want to know what
I was a little nervous. South Carolina's amazing, and South Carolina definitely they're upset about what happened in the tournament last year. When I watched Iowa's game against Penn State, not a particularly amazing team. Caitlin, not her best game. Hannah Stuckey, though, wow, was she playing great. Kate Martin, wow, did she look good. If the surrounding cast for Caitlin can step up a little, it's very tough to beat this Iowa team. I'll tell you that.
Let me clear the air on something. You will never see me in Cleveland.